Now, have you ever heard of the term revenge travel? It has been trending across social media this summer. What does it mean? Exactly what it says. The last 2 years have been terrible for travel. People were stranded at home due to COVID-19. So this summer, people are eager to make up for all the lost travel opportunities. They are jetting off to their dream destinations, almost a revenge for being grounded for so long. Social media is calling this phenomenon revenge travel or vacation vengeance. But these travelers are in for a rude shock. Staff shortages, bottlenecks at airports, long queues, strikes, and even lack of lifeguards. This summer of travel has resulted into fresh headaches for industries across the world. But why is this happening right now? There are two main reasons. One, no one expected such a quick rebound in tourism. So industries are taken aback by the swift recovery. This is an industry that was largely dormant for the last 2 years. So they have been caught unprepared. There are staff shortages across all sectors. And two, there were sweeping job cuts and pay cuts when COVID-19 struck. Hospitality and aviation industries bled millions of dollars. But as the industry rebounds, workers want pay hikes. They also want better working conditions. Coupled with inflation, this has resulted in strikes in countries across the world. Here's a visual from the Heathrow Airport in London. This is one of Europe's busiest airports. And look at the scenes here. Rows of suitcases piled on the escalator in one of its terminals. Check-in staff even say they may strike if the pandemic pay cut is not restored.
Well, I think it'll take 12 to 18 months for the whole industry to get all of its capacity back to where it was before the pandemic. And that's not just across the UK, it has to be across Europe as well, because we are affected by staffing issues at other airports around the world. So this isn't quick.
And not just London, staff shortages and long queues are the story of every European airport. In Belgium, workers were striking for a day over the cost of living. This forced Brussels airport to cancel all departing flights. Bus services across the country also had to be cancelled. Other European transit hubs, Frankfurt, Dublin and Amsterdam, are dealing with thousands of passengers every day. Many of them even have to cancel flights to avoid chaos. The total demand for air travel in April is up by almost 80% compared to last year. This is driven by a jump in international travel. The high demand is coupled with elevated jet fuel prices and fewer planes. This means the airfares are very high, but even that is not deterring Europeans. Vacations are on the top of their priority list and they are willing to pay for it. The roaring rebound was meant to be good news for the aviation industry, but instead they are struggling. There are bottlenecks, and flights have to be cancelled to avoid overwhelming airports. The industry is also scrambling to recruit workers. This after it was forced to downsize its workforce during the pandemic. In America too, travel issues are piling up for flyers. Flight delays and cancellations topped 10,000 in major airports. Many are blaming staff shortages, parked planes and even bad weather. Last Friday was the busiest day for travel in American airports. Over 2.4 million people passed through security at US airports. On Saturday, the number was 2.1 million. While shortages continue to plague airports, America has another unique problem. It is dealing with a shortage of lifeguards. Pool openings are delayed across the country due to a severe lifeguard shortage. United States has over 300,000 public pools. This shortage may now affect a third of those pools. Some say not even open due to lifeguard shortage. Why is this suddenly happening? It is a mixture of cancellation of work, visas and the pandemic. Either way, this means that Americans may have to stay away from the pool this summer. But despite the bottlenecks and staff shortages, the determination to travel remains high. Industries too expect to cash in on the revenge travel wave. But travelers must brace for problems, so fasten your seatbelt because the summer of vacation vengeance is off to a rocky start.
too busy, we'll take some actions to help maintain the flow of people.
So we're going to talk about this revenge travel and what it means for travelers across the United Kingdom and America, and what impact this will have going forward in the tourism industry, which has been battered by the pandemic. And we'll also talk about what this job cuts and strikes in the aviation industry, if they persist, what they mean for the tourism industry and also the travel industry. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.